Hello, everybody. I'm here in the Soulful Empowerment Group. I'm on my business page, Sandra Pelli da Sandini, and I am on my YouTube channel at the same time. I love how technology has given us this ability to be everywhere at once. It is a true testimony to really how very, very connected we actually are. That's so very, very powerful. Yeah. So I've got a couple things that I wanted to say. First of all, this is sponsored by the A Spiritual How To, a book that will walk you through some very simple steps to discover your own self on that journey. And I also have another book in the making. It's Look, Sandy, I Can Fly, an incredible book that walks you through, yes, my own spiritual journey, but it is a workbook that helps you on your spiritual journey on going through the process of grief. And that book has been out now for a couple weeks with a couple different people looking at it, perusing it, helping me with the editorial aspect of it in I believe it was the monthly newsletter, the August monthly newsletter. I actually put it out there that I would love people to, if they're interested in doing some artwork for the front and back cover, I would love to get in touch with some of those people, whoever they are. That might be you. I have some ideas of what I want. I've got this image, and that's why the title's called Look, Sandy, I Can Fly. So if you have any artistic ability and you'd like to maybe get together with me and see what that looks like with regards to the book, Look, Sandy, I Can Fly. We also have the Rewrite the Energy process coming up on September 9th. There are all kinds of areas where you have the ability to sign up for that. It is a free 2-hour, maybe longer, maybe shorter masterclass, probably at least 2 hours anyway. I don't imagine it'll be any shorter. And yesterday was Lionsgate. Very powerful day. Lots of really interesting things came on. I'm getting some beautiful feedback from some of the people that participated in the Channeling Summit. Susan Kennard was before myself, and then myself. And both of us, and I'm not sure about the other person who participated as a speaker on there yesterday, but there's all kinds of speakers still going on. Our beautiful Kitty Foss is on there today. I believe she's the last caller today at 5 p.m. Eastern. And that's the Channeling Summit, Season 6. You can, if you look up Channeling Summit, you should be able to find that under Google. It's also available looking at my newsletters that have been going out, as well as being able to find it on Intuition of the Soul, Soulful Empowerment, on our business pages as well, Sandra Pelli da Sandini. So really great speakers happening in there. Today is the August Q&A. It's really fascinating how I almost chose to not come on. I got some art supplies here in case I was going to do some other things. However, at the last moment, someone has asked a question, so I'm going to respond to that. But also too, you might notice, depending on where you're watching this, whether it's on my business page, whether it's on YouTube, or whether it is in the Soulful Empowerment, that I have a new playlist out on the YouTube channel, and it's called The Dragon Tales. And it's like the dragon tail. And yesterday I did episode 6, I believe, and it was all about the Lionsgate, and a powerful reading came through on that. As well as yesterday, we did the Soulful Power Call, and that was again another, I did 4 readings on that, so very foundational energy. And one of the questions is very similar to one of the questions that's being asked today on this call. So check those different areas out for more information. You never know what might come up that really resonates with you. So if you have questions, first of all, say hi. I see there's a bunch of people on here. Say hi. And the questions, ask whatever you want. You can ask questions about dragons. You can ask questions about lions. You can ask questions about any guides. You can ask questions about, I was going to say finances. I don't know. You can ask questions about past, present, and future. Ask questions about whatever you would like. Take a breath, Sandra. First of all, let's settle into this energy. So taking a breath, feeling the calmness come back in. Just continue to breathe, however you breathe, in and out. Asking to accept, trust, and believe. Be open to receiving. Have a willingness to ask questions or to see your questions in what other people ask. Asking the mind, body, and soul to do whatever it needs to do for the highest good, for the most benevolent reasons, and the greatest good of all. Calling in the directions and the elements. I'm really feeling drawn to call in the South and Fire currently because of the Lionsgate portal that we're still in the energy of. So the South and the Fire. Calling in the West and Water. North and Earth. East and Wind. Everything within. Everything without. Asking that our gatekeepers allow this beautiful filtration system to be working with our pineal chakra, to feel a true heart connection, to involve the sacral chakra to that creative center, and in that, activating our solar plexus to find the joy. And all of this is so grounding. Feel your power. Beautiful. Right on. Thanks, guys. And I see you, Barb and Sue. Thank you so much. So the big question I have today, the one question I have so far, is by the beautiful Joan. And I'm just going to write on her thing here. Answered 7 minutes in. Her question today is, what do I need to know about self-discovery? Anything is helpful. Thank you in advance. This is one of the questions that actually came up in the Soulful Power call yesterday as well. So if you want further information, Joan or anybody else, feel free to read that Soulful Power call. And I'm just trying to find the screen. Where are you guys? Over here. So energetically, you know what? I've been really giving myself over to letting whatever powers come through. So give me a moment here, Joan and anybody else. What do you need for self-discovery? Thank you. 2 things are coming up with this. One is a post that was in the Soulful Empowerment by the beautiful Maria Norden. She put in, if you want to know who your tribe is, speak your truth and see who sticks around. So that's the first part of that, is speaking your truth. Then Anika put on there as a reply, and I love this information as well. She's doing that, and that her passion is to explore consciousness, awareness, and awake tribe. For that to be possible, I need to be conscious, aware, and awake. So I take a look at all my unconsciousness and make that conscious. It's could be called shadow work and other things. I think that is so very, very powerful, because when I was looking at things yesterday before the Lionsgate process that I did, I was drawn to look through my art book. And I just want to show you this. And there's a reason why I'm showing this. Okay, so this just looks like a picture that's all kind of dark and what have you. And you know, I was thinking of the night skies and kind of some of the way the lines are. But as you look closer, you can actually see this incredible bird in flight. Like look at the wing here. Look at the beak over here. there's just a very powerful energy happening underneath. And then this, I don't know where my hand is. This is like that sun energy coming up behind it. So there's stuff that's underneath. There's stuff that's hidden. And that, what Anika said in that post was so very, very powerful. I love that. Thank you for mentioning that it's a dragon. There's stuff happening unconsciously underneath, and that is so very, very powerful to recognize and to pull up. So I've mentioned about how there's been possibly decades where we've been hiding things because of something that's been said to us in the past. And then we are recognizing that, holy cow, this is why I'm not acting this way. I would like to bring that back online. And in bringing that back online, that's what's coming up now. So Joan, your question of self-discovery, you've been going through this beautiful transition this entire year for the last 7 months. We're now in the 8th month. I love this. And you're in the Lionsgate portal right now. So you're asking a very powerful question. The question that I've been asking people is, do you know what your power is? You've been part of those conversations, right? What is my power? I listened, and yes, I do keep mentioning Kitty Foss because there's a reason for that. Like her and I are we have these really incredible conversations together, and we feed energetically off of each other as well as the conversations that we have going on around us. So that's how you go into that mode of self-discovery. You're talking things through with others. You are recognizing the pieces of you that are dormant. I love that word, dormant. It's not that they're in fact, I'm not even going to go into what they're not, but they're dormant. So there's something really happening right now where these dormant pieces are starting to go bubbling up to the surface. And it's so wild because what I'm actually energetically feeling with that is this, it's kind of comical because I feel like I am way back in dinosaur age, and there's these pools of bubbling up mud, heat, and what have you, and stuff is coming up from that. And now I'm jumping into this energy of the Scotland, England, Wales, the UK energy of out in the mires, and how berries are bodied in this, and now new things are coming up, right? Like yes. Perfect, Sue. La Brea tar pits, exactly. Tar pits and things are bubbling up in us for us to really step into the energy and connect with. And first of all, ask the question, why is this coming up? And then where has it been? Why is it suddenly appearing? Like for me, in November of 2022, I recognized that I was not connected to the feminine side of myself. And I reclaimed that in this incredible breath work exercise. So know that there are ways to connect into this very, very powerfully. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful for you, Joan. The rest of you, you know what? I'm unsure where you're asking the questions from. So bear with me. I would love to know who it is that's asking the question, because I really have no idea who's asking some of the questions. Okay, so let me kind of go back here. This Facebook user said, how do I remove or change what is blocking me from moving forward? I love this because this is in essence exactly what I'm talking about, right? How do I remove or change what is blocking me? I'm going to work with the second half of that first. How do I change what is working with me there? And I just want to can I? I don't know if I can. Well, let me just work with this first. One of the things that I have found has been very helpful in the past has been that when I am blocking something, I look at the energy of that blocking. So just like when something is going really weird in our world and we choose to put a pink bubble around ourselves, we too have also created walls that block energy that from coming in. So when you say, how do I remove or change what is blocking me from moving forward? Sometimes the simplest steps are literally recognizing that wall and then looking at what that material of that wall is. Like, is it literally fence posts that are like this, or is it blocks? And if so, is this the first thing to do, making them see-through so that you can see what's on the other side? Or is it about erasing it? Or is it about painting a new picture in front of yourself? Like, some of these changes start with the simplest things where it's like, okay, you know what? I recognize I'm blocking it. I am choosing to no longer block it in the manner that I have. I am choosing instead to recognize that there is a resistance there. Ooh, yeah, that's powerful. Recognize that there's a resistance there. Then parts of the ways to remove these things that are blocking you from moving forward is to recognize what it is. So for myself, I'm using myself as the example again. I'm using myself as that feminine energy. When I recognized that that feminine energy was shut down, it actually didn't start in November. That's when I actually did the final little piece to it. It started probably 4, 5, 6 months before that. It started to become more aware in my world because I chose to love myself. I added the I love myself to that I am love mantra, and I began to love myself. So in loving myself, that became more visible. Then I had to, I shouldn't say I had to. Then I heard different pieces come up from different readers that were reading me about, oh, something happened when you were 12. Oh, da, 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 da. And that's how I started to understand what had happened. So then it's the breaking the habit of how I'm reacting to something. So for me, I was injured. That was what happened when I was 12 years old. I was injured. And the way my parents reacted was very, very understandable. I was a tomboy, so they reacted like I was a tomboy. And therefore, in that moment, even though I needed to be loved and coddled like a little girly girl, and listen to me, even the way I talk about it, that energy got shut down in that moment. So then I had to bring that energy back in, that feminine side of myself. What I've really noticed of late is that I'm actually looking at dresses. Like, really, Sandra? This is how much of that feminine side of myself has started to come back in. So I'm breaking the habit. So if I am, and I'm not setting myself up for injury, but if I were to injure myself, then how I react to that injury is going to be entirely different now. I'm not going to go, oh, I'll just, walk it off. I'll go do this. I'll do that. You notice the masculine energy come in. It'll be like, no, I would like to baby myself in this moment. And I, it's so interesting, even the words that I'm using for masculine and feminine types of energies. So it's recognizing those bits and pieces when you want to remove or change what is blocking you from moving forward. I would love to know who that was. Wow, thank you so much. I'm going to swing down lower and see if that was anybody answered that. Okay, no one did. Okay. So Sue asks, what do I need to do next going forward? It's really interesting because I'm seeing a box with white wings on it. And there's also a head on it. And it is moving. Like, it's really interesting because that box is here and it's moving in that direction. It's moving to the left. So there's something that's coming up from your past. Now, I don't think it's past energy of possibly this lifetime. It feels further back. There's a reason I started out talking about, the tar pits and, bodies in the mires of the UK, etc. I'm reflecting back to books that I've read that are like historical romances from the 1400s, you know. So there's some energetic piece coming in for you, Sue, right now that dates back quite some time. I don't know if the numbers 14, 16 mean anything for you, and maybe that's what it is it might not be that date, but there's something about these numbers. So this is energetically what I'm feeling is there's a box. It's an open box. It doesn't look like there's anything in it right now, and it's winged. So if the box was here like this, it's open, there's nothing in it. Here's a wing, and there's the head, and it's definitely going in that direction. 1416, the number 1416 is coming up, whether that's a date, whether that's a number that means something to you, okay? I am unsure. The next question, I would like to know if my mother or grandmother have a message for me. Wow. So this morning I was looking up all kinds of bannock recipes, and I found this one, and I'm looking for the type that you fry rather than you bake. And this recipe spoke about how this woman, like, I think it's like it's only about a 15-minute little video, and yet the comments on this video are like, the people are like, oh my gosh, the memory of this brings up so much memories of my grandmother and that. So there's something about a dish that can be cooked. There's something about bringing the family together, and there's this dish that can be cooked. That's the message that's coming through. Whether it's bannock or something else, I am unsure. But this is the message that's coming through, is there's a recipe that you've been thinking about doing right now, and you're being asked to step into the energy of doing that recipe. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comments about my pictures. I love that. So glad that I saw this pop up. Not sure who that is, but thank you. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was Gloriana. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so Lav. Perfect. I've been feeling a beautiful shift within. Would love any info you're getting. So to what's to unfold. Okay, Lav. The word patience is coming up immediately, and that's so fascinating because I'm really have shifted out of patience and time per se and into the space of things. So I'm also seeing the flower patience. There's something energetically around the flower patience. The color of the flower, the height of the flower, how it looks in the wilderness or in your garden, whatever. There's something about that flower. So look up that flower. I'm also seeing the time piece, a clock, and with the energy of that, it's like everything is in its space. There is an unfolding occurring. Let me just tap into this a little bit further. I'm also feeling like there's a book. So whatever if you're journaling, if you're writing, there's something about the words of wisdom that are being written down. That's so interesting because yesterday, as I was the channeler of the Lionsgate message that I was delivering in the Channeling Summit, two things happened. One, I truly recognized when in the moment I stepped back and the information that came through was for the collective group rather than me having my own personal experience in that. So there's something big about whatever your personal experience is. Recognize how this can be brought forward to the collective group as well, that there's a bigger picture going on here. Also, too, I recognized in that moment the need to write down what was happening. And in fact, I literally grabbed that because I want to go do YouTube for my Dragon's Tales. I want to go talk about this because of the Dragon Lord Council that I'm now working with. So in the writing downs of things, we remember more. Okay, so that is what's coming through, writing things down as well. Okay, Lav, thank you. And hello, good morning from Alaska, Robin. And Carol Lee, yes, thank you. You know what, Carol Lee, thank you so much for the way you're supporting me on my YouTube channel. Like, I just love it. And you're supporting me on my webpage too. You have no idea how much I really, truly appreciate that. And what I mean by that is she's clicked onto things on my webpage, sandrapelli.com, that I wasn't even aware was going on. So that was a real eye-opener for me. So I really appreciate you, Carol Lee. And Carol Lee has been one of those people who, I mentioned this book, A Spiritual How-To, that was written back in 2017. And Carol Lee was a part of that process as well because of the mastermind that we were in together at that time. So just kind of a powerful place to be. Not sure why my name is not showing up. It does show up mine. That was my question, Gloriana. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. What else is coming up here? The song Yellow. There's two songs coming to mind. They Call Me Mellow Yellow. And also, gosh, I can't remember what his name is, but there's another song that's yellow and that I just absolutely love. See, I like that. The Flying Box maybe wants me to pack for you. Never know. Okay, so this is probably in possibly with regards to the other Yellow Submarine. Yeah, that's another one for sure. Okay, so hi, Sandra. I'm doing some energy healing work, trying to forgive. So first thing I want to mention is that word trying, and Coldplay. Yes, Coldplay is the song Yellow that I was thinking of. So thank you for your patience, the person whose post I have up here, comment I have up here. The word trying, it's really interesting. I have been going through some really interesting energy, and my husband's medical platform has offered counseling, a couple hours of counseling. And so I jumped on board with that. And I actually found a guy who has kind of like a shamanic point of view, who does holistic type of work. And we've had our first little meet and greet. We've had our first hour, and I'm just in awe of how connected it is, him and I. And I make a very big point of not using the word trying, and he was using the word trying. So the word trying means that you're not actually doing it. You're only just know that you are doing. So you're saying, I'm doing some energy healing work to forgive my grandmother. So take out the word trying out of there to begin with, if you don't mind, please. My screen just had something pop up there. I'm curious if she might have something to tell me that might help me heal from all my negative thoughts and feelings about her. Wow. So the first thing that's coming through is something that I want to relate about Tyler Henry, all of these people who, Teresa Caputo, all these people who connect in with passed away loved ones. The first thing that they will tell you, and I will tell you as well, is that as a person transitions into this next part of their cycle, their spiritual journey, their life, whatever it is, they recognize the things that they did in this lifetime, and they are in a different space around that already, and in most cases feel very apologetic and want to be supportive in a different way around whatever it is, the negative thoughts and the feelings that you have about them. So know that in their transitioning, in your grandmother's transitioning, that she has already loosened her hold on how she was treating you. So that's one of the things that may help you to start to transition through that energy as well. Working with her higher self energy as well. That's something that we've done in many different places in the Soulful Empowerment Group and in different calls. And it's honestly, it's connecting with that person's higher self. I'm going to connect with my grandmother right now, and it's so interesting because I have my grandmothers, and even that. Wow, that's wild. Okay, so I have my two grandmothers coming in before I even verbally tell you how to do this, and I also have my stepdad's mother coming in as a grandmother too. So I'm really loving the energy of it, and these three are all coming up on this side. So for me, my passed away loved ones usually show up on my right side. In fact, when I was first learning how to step into the things that I do, I would get a very heated face on this side, and that would be a spirit that has passed away coming in. So the way to connect with your grandmother's higher self is to honestly, first of all, ask to be open with no expectations, no limitations, and being okay with the outcome. Asking the mind, body, and soul to do whatever it needs to do to heal in this space for the highest good, for the most benevolent reasons, and the greatest good of all. Accepting, trusting, and believing. I'd like to connect with my grandmother's higher self. I can very vividly see my grandmother in this moment. Know that in that simple process of what we just did there, and you're asking to connect with your grandmother's higher self, that you have, whether you energetically can feel that, whether you got the image of her face, or whatever, like know first of all that you have. And at that point, it's what are you personally willing to do as well? Did you want to ask her questions? Did you want to already extend a branch of forgiveness for her? Even if you feel as like there's so many different aspects to this, but part of it is literally connecting with your grandmother's higher self. I do lots of little interviews, I guess I call them. And the interviews are where we go in and we talk to that person, the deck of cards, that spirit, that guide, whatever it is, and we ask some very simple questions like the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Right? How can I forgive you? Could be one of the questions that you ask your grandmother. How can I get over these feelings? Automatic writing is another thing as well to do with this. This is a really serious topic, and I'm really glad that you asked this. It does come down to when the emotions and the feelings come up in that moment, recognize that's what's happening and choose to shift and change out of those negative thoughts and feelings about her. That in most cases, they were reacting in life in the only manner that they knew how. And therefore, you were literally just the person who was receiving the fallout. And I say that with love, and I say that with support. So when the feelings come up that you're having about your grandmother, it is in that moment, and I love this because how do I remove or change things that are blocking me? That's the question that came through earlier, right? In that moment that I recognize that feeling, that negative thought is coming up, I stop myself. You stop yourself. And you change that I would love to recognize my grandmother in a new way, that I recognize that she was only responding in the best way that she knew how, the way that she had been taught. And in that, you start to break the habit. It's not necessarily about healing. Healing comes with the breaking of the habits. Okay? Powerful, powerful question. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. And therefore, maybe that recipe could be the one that brings it all together, right? Very, very powerful. Yeah. Well, you guys, this has been really quite magical. I so truly appreciate that you've been here with me, and we've gone on this little journey of exploration. I see that some of the names that are on here: Kitty, Robin, Barb, Lav, and whomever else that's on here. I really appreciate you guys. Um, I just want to see if there's anything else that wants to come through. There are hidden aspects of ourself that we are looking at, and it also comes right back down to that. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? It comes right back to that recognizing an old habit and starting to shift out of that habit into something different, into something more powerful. Okay. So before we go, put your arms around yourself and breathe your way through the I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable. I love me. I love myself. I am divine love. And in the words of Daniel Martinez Stahl from the Channeling Summit yesterday, it's the awareness of it starts with love, it ends with love, and it's the love that's all in between for yourself. Okay? Have a beautiful, magical day. Know that I support you. Know that I see you. Take care, everybody. Thank you.